and Bad Bunny headline distraction generator 3000. It's a Business Pants Friday show here at February 6 Studios, featuring analyst hole Matt Moscardi. On today's weekly wrap up, the Epstein non-fallout, Texas reverses stupidity, and Matt gets triggered by his sneakers.
I got triggered by a lot of stuff this week. It was fun. And by fun, I mean everything's horrible. No, it's not. Come on. This is a fun show where we use data to explain the people behind the news. This is not a show where we complain about stuff.
All I've noticed is that, generally speaking, in America now, I've noticed that when people say, like up here, at least up here in northern New England, greetings are often like, "Hey, how are you?" Right? And
You get
the
a
reaction
how
is
are ya?
usually, like, "How's it going?"
Hey, yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
usually, the answer now these days is, I don't know.
The answer
That's
I
what
get a
people say
lot
now.
is I'm alive or surviving or
I don't know. All right, our show today is being sponsored by FreeFlow Analytics, freeflowanalytics.com. The only platform measuring board power, connections, and performance for free. I feel like one thing our show has been missing recently is because of the onslaught of politics dripping into the corporate world, which is what I thought the Republicans were trying to reverse, but actually it's
they
the
didn't
opposite.
like that. Yeah.
We don't even talk about boring data stuff. I mean, you have to tune into our other show, The Proxy Countdown, if you want just straight data and stories out of 8K filings and annual meetings. Because unfortunately, the Biz Nugget shows, which we used to try to have fun with, have become the sad state of corporate America. Like, I don't know what happened. Yeah.
So I've seen the guts of this new database that FreeFlow Analytics is building, and one of the things that they're working on,
It has
which
guts?
is fascinating, it
Yeah.
has guts. Yeah, one of the things they're working on that's fascinating is a flagging system for these directors
Yeah.
that includes any ad hoc flag you want, like was in Epstein files.
Okay,
You can
let's start
flag
with-
every director.
Let's hit the
that way.
music, because
All
let's
right,
start
let's
with the
do
story
it.
of the week.
Yeah. All right. I love a good Epstein story.
I mean, look.
Come on, the amazing part about the Epstein files has been that Trump is not mentioned now at all, really, about
And-
Epstein. Like,
Well, and to my point, all of the most important American CEOs and tech bros have been mentioned, and nobody cares. There's no
I mean-
revolt. There's no call for action. Nobody's deleting anything.
one
Nobody's
guy
stopped
cared,
anything.
right? Like one guy at like a law firm cared.
I'm looking at the CNN.com webpage right now. Here's what's dominating the top. Something about Savannah Guthrie's mother. I had to look up who Savannah Guthrie is. She's like she's on the Today Show. I think she's like the new Katie
the host.
Couric.
Yeah.
Winter Olympics. FBI arrest person behind Benghazi attack. We're back to Benghazi. This is where we're at. Like, the distractions are amazing.
Make
Super
America
Bowl.
great again does mean go back in time.
Let's talk about Bad Bunny. Is it
who
okay to have an American sing at your Super Bowl? Is that okay?
Who watches the Super Bowl halftime show anyway? Don't we all go to the bathroom and eat then?
Yeah, I rarely watch.
I watch Beyonce. That's what I watch.
One year I took a shower. All right, let's start with the story of the week. It's clearly one thing in my view, although you get to vote. So I broke it up into a couple of sections, and I added on a couple of other dumb stuff. So first, Epstein files. I just focused on the tech bros, and this is an impartial. This is an incomplete list.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna say the amount for everybody, but let me just give you some of the names on this list. All these people are cited in between 200 and 3,000 files. And again, I just picked a handful of names to get us going. Reid Hoffman, Bill Gates, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Kimball Musk, Larry Page, Sergey Brin, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Eric Schmidt. So what are we looking at here? Basically, Facebook, Amazon, Google, Elon Musk World, Microsoft. What's Reid Hoffman?
LinkedIn, which is Microsoft now, yeah.
So Elon Musk World. So, okay, and again, that's an incomplete list. Let's just start with that. Epstein, the tech bros. That's my first story of the week.
It's fine, but the only name on that
Yeah.
really matters is Trump. Yeah.
No,
Notice how
I think
no,
this matters.
Of
But
course
we
it
don't
matters.
we don't do a strictly political show. Yeah, of course I'd be talking about Trump, but you know,
But I'm not talking about politically matters. Like I'm talking about like accountability is what matters.
yeah, exactly. Thank you.
First of all, these people, some of them are mentioned in the files, and they weren't like associates of Epstein. They're just in the files because they're rich and famous, and there is no distinguishing between those things. Elon Musk, the latest was like somebody could connect him to getting a massage on Epstein Island. Meanwhile, Reid Hoffman like went to the TED talk with like, and Epstein was there, and the connections are also often tenuous. And
So
Trump,
let's look into
who
it.
is the president, the CEO of the United
No, I get it.
States,
I get it.
is fucking nowhere.
No, I understand. All right, let's start. That's the tech bros. The second story of the week, the lack of U.S. based fallout. Starting with Trump. I mean, nothing's happening. But
Nothing.
here's what is happening over in England. Uh, uh, Head of firm founded by Peter Mandelson is quitting. Benjamin Weg Proster is his name. Is the CEO of a lobbying firm co-founded by Peter Mandelson. Is all over the Epstein files. Mandelson is an ambassador. So and I've seen other people mention this. Allison Taylor. Allison Taylor was on the show, right?
Yeah, back in the day, yeah.
Allison Taylor is she's a big LinkedIn rucker.
Yeah,
What is
I
she?
think that's a made-up word.
But she
yeah.
did point out that there seems to be fallout in other countries, just not in the U.S. The only thing the only real fallout has been not at a corporate setting, but the head Paul Weiss, the law firm,
Yeah.
Brad Karp has been voted out. He's been kicked out by that law firm. Remember, that was the law firm that immediately caved to Trump when Trump sued them. Didn't they give him like $1 billion or something outrageous?
They
I don't
gave
remember
him
what
some
the
ridiculous amount of pro bono
in free
work,
pro
yeah.
bono, and but they caved immediately. So that's Brad Karp over at Paul Weiss.
Nothing says fun like blackmail.
The World Economic Forum over there in Davos is investigating its CEO over Epstein links. Now, remember, you started off by telling me that, some of the links are tenuous. I don't care. I want full investigations by boards. I want everything. I want I want some of these people to, at a minimum, they should step off their boards. I've made the case forever that the CEOs don't need to be in the boards at all, but they should step down at least temporarily from the board and let the board investigate, like they're doing, like they say they're doing at the World Economic Forum. I don't know what they're really doing, but they announced that. The funniest one, it's not funny, is what's going on over at CBS News. Peter Attia, who's kind of like a quack doctor, I guess. They call him a longevity doctor. Longevity doctor? I don't know
All
what that
doctors are designed to create longevity.
That's true.
That's what they do.
So he stepped down from the advisory board of what's the name of I should know. It's a sleep
Is it
tech
Somni
company.
Group or whatever?
Eight Sleep. I don't know. He stepped down from the board.
they're
That's like
all
the
dumb.
first somewhat a bit of U.S. corporate accountability. But the funny thing is, Barry Weiss, who we talked about, she's the new CEO over at CBS News.
Yeah.
Now she really hates cancel culture,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Which
She doesn't-
is not a
cancel
real
anybody.
thing. Which is not a real thing, by the way. If you suck at your job or if you're a morally banked, criminal, you should be fired. That's not being canceled. She is refusing to get rid of him. She just signed him, but is yet to fire him because the optics of it, right? What do, Matt? You don't want a child pornographer at your company, but you don't want to give in to the liberals and the woke and fire someone.
Are
That's
the woke
cancel
asking anything
culture.
of Barry Weiss at this point? Like,
I mean, this is
who's-
the stupidest thing ever. I mean, she should be fired already for not firing him. I just what is this? I don't even know what's happening. But anyway, that's my second story of the week is the lack of fallout, especially in corporate America from the Epstein files. My third story, see how I'm moving quickly here?
I love it.
I'm
I love it. You're
honoring your
zipping
time
along.
commitments.
Yeah.
Here are the boring stories that we would normally spend 45 minutes on, but it's a whole new world of horror. So
I'm excited for the boring stories. Honestly.
Elon Musk announces SpaceX's acquisition of AI startup xAI. I don't know what any of that means. They're all his companies, but it's the point being is that this is going to be now the largest private company in the world, right? Over $1 trillion valuation.
It's the largest piggy bank for Musk to pay
That's
himself
true.
in the world. It's going to come out as a classified board that's dual class shares. I'm sure it's going to have all these structural things.
It's going to be like 69. It's going to be like Class B shares worth 69 votes. It's going to be something stupid. I'm serious. It's going to be dumb.
Yeah, 420, 69.
The whole thing is dumb.
Share. Yeah.
And the whole point seems to be a consolidation of his empire, which the
It's already
Tesla
consolidated.
the
He's
Tesla
already the
board and
CEO.
shareholders have wanted. They're okay with that. And orbital AI data centers, which I think is the stupidest thing. I hope they fall out of the sky, but I hope they don't hurt anyone.
No, actually, isn't the forgotten stepchild here Tesla itself? Like,
What?
Tesla's not getting
sucks.
acquired by SpaceX or XAI,
Well, something will happen, right?
but Tesla is a separate company entirely.
Is it gonna
and
stay
has a market
separate?
valuation. And because it got meme stocked all the way up to a valuation that's 400x its earnings, SpaceX couldn't even afford to buy itself in Tesla, right? Which means
That's true.
the thing I think happens here is all the Tesla investors who are like Muskites and they just follow him around and they believe that, in the cult of Musk. They follow Man Baby out of Tesla and into SpaceX, sell their Tesla shares, buy as much SpaceX as you possibly can. Tesla shares drop like a stone, allowing SpaceX to acquire it cheaper.
You're making my head hurt.
I think it's a
Tesla-
genius prediction.
Tesla is basically in the last few weeks they've kind of quietly moved on from cars. You notice that? They're like oh, we're doing
Quietly?
robots now.
They yelled about it in the last annual meeting.
We're
They said,
bad at it. Anyway, that's the third story that we can finally let's get to the traditional stuff that we used to cover all the time. Now nobody cares, so good for them. We finally got our succession announcement at Disney. I know
Yeah, we
you
did.
don't care.
Yeah, finally. James Gorman pulling through.
So I guess Bob Iger is leaving for the 15th time, and he's doing what he did before, which he's replacing himself with Bob Chapek. No, it is. It's the parks. It's the parks guy. It's the head of parks.
Yeah.
His name is Josh D'Amaro. That's what Bob Chapek was. Where is Bob Chapek now? Why did he have to get fired completely? Why couldn't he run parks again? Why do they have to get rid of him completely?
Well,
I don't even understand that one.
How are they gonna keep Bob Chapek on and parks after
Why not?
like
If he was
his
good at it, why get rid of him? But anyway, that's not the point. The big takeaway here is that lots of articles already coming up how Josh D'Amaro, the incoming CEO of Disney, dresses just like Bob Iger.
that was my favorite article you pulled
and
this
it's
week.
true. He does. It's a white button up with some kind of a black like pullover.
Turtlenecky. No,
Yeah.
pullover
So
or
now the
sweatery thing.
suggestion is dress like your boss if you want to succeed, which is really how the meritocracy works, I think. Right? I mean, that's how the men have kind of stayed in power, is that you kind of dress alike and hang out together and promote each other. The other part of this move is the loser. I don't know if she's the loser, but Dana Walden. A lot of people were thinking like, is this going to be the first female CEO of Disney? But I think that the state of America, all the anti-DEI nonsense, all the anti-woke nonsense, which is really code for hating brown people and women and gay people.
What?
It wasn't. I guess Bob. It was too much for Bob to pick the person who I assumed would have been the winner. She does seem like she has the most, power and brains to run this thing. She becomes chief creative officer, and oddly, her salary is going to be bigger than Josh D'Amaro's. But it looks like the total year payout, Josh D'Amaro will get $45 million for the first year, and Dana Walden will get $32 million. So the man still gets more. But her salary's bigger, so maybe that's the apology,
the trick, right? Because all the money comes after your stock vests, and you get more. But she is actually getting literally
more
getting
cash.
A $26 million equity award, and she's getting a $15 million equity award. So while it looks like, oh, geez, they're paying her more in base salary, it's really she gets paid less in perpetuity. He's going to make a lot more money.
It's weird though. I mean, you don't.
No, that's not
I
weird.
look at named executive officers forever, and you rarely see anyone below the CEO getting more salary. But that's not the point. And I want to point out too, before you vote on the story of the week, is that we're immediately here with this news. Here's the first headline, and hopefully the only one I'll pull because I'm sick of this. The first headline I pulled about Dana Walden: same old Disney. Woke exec elevated to top position as head storyteller. So
Yeah, I mean,
they're mad already that a woman
she can't. She couldn't even. The
It's
funny
like, what
part
can
is,
she do? What can she do? I mean,
it's a
really.
lateral move. Like they made up that the title that she just got has never existed before, and they just made it up because they passed her over as CEO and gave her like a bonus with the title and whatever to just keep her around. So it's all make believe. And somehow the anti-woke are still upset that she has no real new responsibilities. She's not going to do anything different than she really did. She's not the CEO because she can't wear the proper button down with, black sweater over it. And she still got singled out as like same old Disney promotes woke exec. Like, yeah,
And we're talking about a woman who didn't come from Parks, but was previously the CEO and chair of Fox Television Group, which included Fox Broadcasting Company, 20th Century Fox, I mean, this is a woman with quite a background. I mean, this isn't a Parks dude who dresses like Bob Iger. And to end, I should end this by saying that supposedly Bob Iger is going to step down from the board at the end of 2026, and he will also stop being senior advisor. He will leave supposedly at the end of 2026. Let's see if that actually happens. But that's the announcement, is that he's actually going to leave Disney.
Okay, well, I actually think the story in that
Go ahead.
story, and you pointed this out in pre-production, is
Did I?
James Gorman.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, okay,
The G-
remember.
They I don't know how many press releases they put
What
out.
a
The
fucking
genius is
con
coming
job.
in to run the succession planning at Disney. The genius will take care of it. And what do? They pick Bob Chapek again.
What
They
a
went to
con
Parks
job
again.
it was. I mean, like, so they picked Chapek. It's a gigantic failure. Iger comes back. Nelson Peltz starts a activist campaign basically hinged on the fact that they have no succession plan. ISS says vote against Mel Lagomasino, who was the longest tenured director, because it was her fault that the succession failed. That's what they said. She'd been there for 8 or 9 years at the time, and they said she's the most responsible. Vote against her, this director, and that's to make room for Peltz. Investors voted 67% in favor of Lagomasino, which is incredibly low vote. And but they added James Gorman, as part of an expansion of the board. The next year, because they added Gorman, and Gorman had a successful transition at Morgan Stanley,
Whatever that
Mel
means.
Lagomasino gets a 97% in favor vote the next year, despite the fact that she should still be equally as responsible and bad at her job. She gets it anyway. And everybody's saying James Gorman's here to work with Iger on succession. And what was their succession plan? The same guy they talked about at the last succession plan. He's been around for like 20 years. And Dana Walden's been around for a decade, right? Like, what are we actually doing that's different from before? They had 2 insiders and they just chose the Parks guy again. They literally did the same thing, but they conned investors into thinking, well, you got James Gorman now. It's all different. We can do succession.
What is the James Gorman? This is why we live in a land of la la. Like, why is he good at succession planning? He became Walt Disney chair 2 days after he stepped down as executive chair at Morgan Stanley. How do we know that the succession worked at Morgan Stanley? Because he left?
That.
I'm just saying, like, why is he a genius? Like, why?
He's not.
I don't understand why he's a genius.
He handpicked an internal successor at Morgan Stanley. That makes him qualified
And did
to
the same
help
thing
pick
at Disney.
At
Yeah.
Disney?
I
A
don't
company
understand.
with a fundamentally different business model that has nothing in common. Like, what are we
good
doing?
luck. I mean, the Bob Chapek experiment failed, so they're going back to Parks. Maybe this guy DeMauro, because he dresses like Iger, maybe he has the schmooze factor to make this work. But I really don't understand passing over Dana Walden. And let's not forget that Dana Walden despite being called woke already, she's the one responsible for suspending Jimmy Kimmel. So she's certainly no woke warrior.
Yeah, not exactly
anyway,
the wokest thing that ever happened.
let's get off it. Will you vote story of the week?
Look, this is hard for me. Because
I don't care. It's your job.
Because the
This
lack
is
of
important.
the fallout for the Epstein file people, including the ones not named, aka Donald Trump, and Disney are competing in my brain.
Focusing on the people in our database.
It's competing in my brain because, like, if investors are so easily conned by bringing in one guy who transitioned out of a company he was at for 20 years and did an okay enough job at it, if they're successfully conned by the fact that somebody who knows their company can pick a successor and the board had nothing to do with it, go to another company and we can convince investors like, oh yeah, no, he's just great at this. Like this is what he does now. Like that's why they made a committee, the succession committee. It was him and Bob Iger. It was nuts. Despite the fact that they have a nominating committee to do that. I don't understand. The whole thing is nuts. That's competing in my brain with the lack of corporate fallout around the Epstein files, because the Epstein files like are a thing. Man, I have to go with the Epstein files.
You might as well. You might as well. You don't want history to look back at these documents and say, "Oh, look, Matt, voted for Josh D'Amaro during the Epstein week."
Yeah, it's a real thing on my mind. My legacy.
So which really Epstein? The lack of fallout, or
the lack of fallout? It's
okay.
Not the names. The names are going to be the names, but the lack of fallout is really what.
You know why I mentioned the names? It's like, what can you? How do you like wake up Americans? Do you have to like poke them with like a hot like barbecue skewer? It's like we complain about everything.
No,
we all mope around. We're all like sad about everything, but we don't change our behavior. We still pump up the all the billionaires. We pump up their empires, their social media empire. Like, what's it going to take for anyone to do something different? Like, honestly,
it's really simple. If you're a regular American, if you can craft a narrative that Peter Thiel raised the price of eggs and bread, then people are gas, right? Then people pay attention. If you are an investor, you have to show that Peter Thiel being in the Epstein files costs you money. 1-to-1. It can't be like, I don't know, maybe, and then you'll do something different.
Those I know
are
is
the
this.
only things. That's it.
Like a lot of states, my state of Maine, the governor has just introduced what are they called? A bell-to-bell smartphone ban.
They did? Oh, I love that.
So we're admitting kind of quietly and but regularly that these things are bad. What about adults? Like, when are we going to stop smoking? Why? So the kids can't smoke, but we're still smoking? Like, come on. Like, what are we doing? Anyway.
Everything you're saying makes me want a cigarette. All right,
let's move on.
Let's go on. What are we doing with these Goodliest?
Ooh, I have a quick one. We both have quick ones.
Both have quick
beautiful.
Goodliest. I mean, it's hard to parse goodly.
No, there's not a lot of good. And mine is reversing stupidity, so I'll go first. Judge rules, and this is a federal judge appointed by Donald Trump, of all people.
Yeah.
Judge rules Texas anti-ESG law is unconstitutional. How about that?
Ta-da!
There you go. I mean, is this not the most like no-brainer of a call?
It's dumbest.
I mean, how can you tell people that you can't use like?
Yeah, let's give a background, because somebody who might be listening.
Okay, go ahead.
The second person.
We have listeners? I thought we just did this to keep ourselves
Texas
busy.
in 2021 passed a law that basically said asset managers were illegally discriminating against fossil fuels. Like that,
which is we're already in dumb land.
We're already in dumb.
So investors can't even make
land,
decisions. Right? They can't even make their own decisions.
And they also suggested that all these investors were colluding because they were part of these groups like, Net Zero Alliance, and they were all colluding against fossil fuels, and it was illegal. And so Texas passed this law that they will create a blacklist, a no investment list of asset managers that were discriminating against fossil fuels, and Texas had to divest from all those companies, had to take their assets away from all those companies.
Yeah, we called it political theater. That's what we called it.
It was like 95% European asset managers that Texas didn't invest with really. They had like $7 with, and then BlackRock. They really just wanted to get at BlackRock. They were looking for
Yeah, they
the
had
next
big
George
billboards
Soros.
of Larry Fink. They're
Yeah,
showing
they were
the
trying to
big
make
Jewish
Larry
devil.
Fink a
Yeah.
Jewish George
Soros,
Soros-y,
yeah.
devil-y character. And obviously, that law, when you say like an investor can't make decisions about how to invest money based on what clients want them to invest in, you can't make a law that says you're not allowed you can only invest in this and not in that. So that's all the judge was saying. Your judge was like, this is vague and ridiculous, and that was Donald Trump's appointed judge. All right, you want my good list?
Yeah.
My good list is one sentence. Thank
Well,
you,
I tried to
Mothership.
make it my sentence, but you talked all over my headline. Go ahead.
MSCI gave me the sentence.
Is
38%.
MSCI still a thing?
I think so. 38% of companies' emissions trajectories are aligned with global climate goals.
Okay.
Look, the
This
converse
reminds me
here,
why I was not great at that company.
well, like 5 years ago,
Yeah.
it was in 2020, 6 years ago, it was 5% of companies were actually on target to hit some sort of avoid us from absolute worst disaster climate.
But haven't global climate goals changed since 5 years ago?
Yeah,
too? Haven't
they get
softened?
more stringent. Yeah.
Oh, I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
they get less stringent.
No. The global climate goals are like
They're
like
stayed
Paris
the same.
Agreement. They said it a long time
Okay,
ago,
all
and
right.
that kind of stuff. So look, take the good news where you can get it.
All right,
Companies
tell me.
are actually moving on climate goals, even if the U.S. isn't. So
Okay,
good for
all
them.
right.
Good for them. All right.
That's a very wonky good list. I like that one. Very wonky. Shout out to MSCI.
Yeah, nice work, MSCI. Are you
Whoever
ready
came up with
for-
that, good going.
we
And
probably
by
know
the way,
people
thank
who
you,
came up with it.
MSCI, for not saying 38.2%. They always go to the first decimal, and it drives me crazy.
I
Like,
know, you
I'm
hate
giving
that.
everyone at MSCI the permission. I don't care what Henry Fernandez says. I'm giving everyone permission to round up
or
or
down. Yeah.
Forget
Wow.
decimal points and percentage. Just forget it. Nobody cares. I'm
You
sorry.
heard
I
it
don't-
here first.
heard it
Damien
here
said
first.
round up.
This is beautiful. 38%. See, guys, I understand what that means. And if
I
it
love that.
said-
All right.
Okay, I'll get
Let's
off.
do triggering. I'm not doing assholes.
All right.
I just got triggered this week.
All right, do it. Wait, do
You
I
ready
get
to
to
hear my
vote,
triggers?
though? What am I voting on?
You're
The
voting
most
on which
triggery?
one is the most triggery, and
Triggers me the most or triggers you the
you're
most?
voting on it whether it triggers you. Yeah.
Go
And
ahead.
It's a very obvious winner this week.
Go ahead.
Actually. First one.
I'll be the
this
judge of that.
headline: Nike among the first targeted by EEOC for DEI activity.
You know, can I just say that this is not a surprise to me. I don't know if anything's been written about this. I don't know if anything's been, and I don't know if you're going to cover this. Why Nike? But here's my like really quick reaction to why Nike from an American culture perspective is back when we were kids. I think Nike was really instrumental, kind of taking the first steps. Granted, it was a sneaker company, and we're talking about like retail and material goods here, but I feel like it was an early step of like making our races a little bit closer together. I don't know. There was something about they used black spokespeople. They celebrated sports. They celebrated athletes. They celebrated American athletes, like Michael Jordan types. Before the 80s, the National Basketball Association, the NBA, it was largely an unknown league. Like even the finals weren't shown live on TV. They were often shown on a tape the next day. Like that's how obscure it was, because it was a league dominated by African American players, and that wasn't okay with most of America, I suppose. And Nike, I feel like, did something good. I don't know, like I can't put my finger on it, and I'm not a Nike like. I'm not saying here that Nike's a civil rights champion. I'm just saying
No,
that
they are
it doesn't
not.
surprise me that they targeted Nike for some of these vague reasons. But go ahead.
The reason is probably more specific. I did not cover this, and I did not
Go
read
ahead.
this anywhere. But in 2016, Colin Kaepernick was busy kneeling at the national
there you go.
anthem
That's
in
another
support
reason,
of black
right?
rights. And in 2018, Nike signed him to a massive multi-year
Okay,
deal for
sure.
advertising.
Sure.
And it was a firestorm of people saying like he's not even playing in the league anymore. Like, you know,
How
it was the
dare they?
beginning of the sort of the wokeness, you know, debate actually. But the headline that triggered me is they were the first targeted by EEOC for DEI activity. Here's
Which really
what
means
was-
just the Trump administration. That because
So I
that's
read-
yeah. Go ahead.
well, I read the actual EEOC complaint or investigation, subpoena or whatever.
The
this
woman
is a
who
quote from
runs
it.
the woman who runs the EEOC she's like a
Andrea Lucas, yeah.
she's like a character from like a dystopian anti-feminist novel or
Yeah,
she's
like
scary.
She's like the obsessed lady in The Last of Us who's
She's
looking
scary.
for her brother. Like I don't know
what
it's
that
really-
means, but sure, yeah.
Yeah,
she's
just say
scary.
yes.
Go ahead.
All right. They said, quote, specifically on May 24th, 2024, EEOC Commissioner, now Chair, Andrea R. Lucas, issued
That's her name,
charge
Andrea
number,
Lucas.
blah, 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 alleging that respondent Nike may have violated Title VII by engaging in a pattern or practice of disparate treatment against white employees.
Yeah.
Applicants, training program
Ugh,
participants,
I don't
and
wanna hear
hiring,
any of
promotion,
this.
demotion,
Yeah.
separation agreements, yada, yada, yada. Here's what's crazy to me. It isn't that alone is already insane. Okay. Like we're already insane if we're targeting using a civil rights created.
Yeah, this is America, right? We're still living in
EEOC
America, right?
The EEOC was established because of civil right. America trampled the civil rights of black people, and this was meant to.
Well, that's putting
Provide
it lightly.
equality.
That's putting
Okay.
it lightly. What we did to black people.
Yes, that's the end. That's the very
Yeah.
end of it. Like at the lightest, right?
Yeah, and mind you, we wouldn't even be an economic power without the enslavement of black people. But go ahead.
Here's the craziest part. And this is going to sound weird, but I got triggered by this. I looked
Sure.
at who signed the charge, the subpoena
this
sent
is like
out.
this is like John Hancock, Ben Franklin.
The EEOC council signatory, there's one signatory on there, a woman named Gwendolyn Young Reams. She's a black woman. She's been at the EEOC since basically 2 days after it was founded. She was an intern there. She got a law degree. She's been actually a lawyer there since 1972. Reams was made. She actually, there's a whole piece written on her in 2024 about the civil rights movement, how important the EEOC was for the civil rights movement, how long she's been there, the things that she's seen. She saw Martin Luther King. She saw like all this progress in her time at the EEOC. Biden made her acting general counsel at the EEOC during his tenure. Trump took over, appointed Andrea Lucas as chair, who promptly demoted Reams to associate general counsel to
Okay.
make room for a woman named Catherine Eskbach, who
Yeah.
was a Federalist Society lawyer. She has a whopping total of 6 years experience at an actual law firm before getting this job. She got
Yeah,
her
we see
bachelor's
a lot of
in
that.
2010 and her law degree in 2015. She has 10 years with like a law degree.
But
10
she's
years.
a yes woman.
The reason why she got her job is she said when she got appointed, quote, President Trump made clear in his executive order eliminating DEI that the EEOC was out of step with requirements of our nation's civil rights laws, that the rescission of EO 11246, the president mandates federal contractors wind those practices down within 90 days. As director, I'm committed to carrying out President Trump's executive orders, which will restore a merit-based system
There we
to
go.
provide all
There we go.
workers with
There it
equal
is.
opportunity. The woman with the
Merit-based, yeah.
least possible merit,
Merit.
got a promotion over a black woman who's been there for literally 50
Hey.
years.
Look, as much as I hate to say this, because I'm afraid of what they'll come back with, but if they're willing to define merit, I might be willing to like accept it. I want objective data to outline what exactly merit is. I want to know
No,
what
this
is
is the
merit.
great
What is a
con.
merit-based system? What does that
Look,
mean?
everyone's focusing on the fact that, look, I looked up Nike's, workforce composition. In 2024, it was 57% white and 50% male. That was the overall composition. At the high executive level, it's 77% white and 62% male. I'm not sure exactly where they got discriminated against. They have literally all the executive jobs and plenty of opportunities. The EEOC's workforce in 2022, when it was wokest, was 60% white and 56% male. The EEOC is actually, Nike is whiter than the EEOC. So
okay.
I don't know what they're talking about. You're being cute here,
but this is all. But as you know, this is just like white supremacist political theater. That's all this is.
The fact that you have the fucking balls to say we are restoring a merit-based system when you get appointed,
that's the thing that triggers me. Merit-based system.
She was appointed
as I want to know the system.
General counsel.
I want to see the system.
They demoted a woman who'd been there for 50 years. And they appointed her general counsel. She has 6 years of experience at a law firm, and she's the one saying we'll finally restore a merit-based system. You don't see the con there?
All I know is this. I took a systems analysis graduate level course. And what they would not let me do is come up with a system and not describe the system. You're not allowed to come up with a fake system and not have actual inputs and outputs of that system. They do this all the time. But again, this is the political theater of their racism. I mean, I know you're hung up on it, and I am too. But that's all this is.
No, I know it's all political theater, but the headlines all focus on the fact that Nike, the company, is under fire from the EEOC and whatever. I am looking at the EEOC itself and the internal hypocrisy because it's so fucking obvious. As soon as you read just the names, I literally looked up the lawyers that signed this document. They're all white except for Reams. Reams had to sign it. I imagine she must have had to sign it under duress. They must have held a shotgun to her and been like, "You need to sign this."
I want to see the system. I want to see. I want to.
So
plus, they said restore. They said restore a merit-based system. So
yes,
that means the system was already in place. So I want to see the inputs and outputs, all the objective criteria and data of that system. It obviously exists if they're citing it. I want to see it.
So Nike, piece of advice: if you're listening, Nike board, and I know you are,
fight hard.
Countersue them immediately.
Fight hard.
And ask them how
long can Trump live? Just fight.
You fight it. Fight every second of it. Sue for anything. All right, that's number one.
Okay.
Number two, BlackRock and every Wall Street bank that quit the Net Zero Alliance and all of the climate orgs.
That happened mostly in Trump's first year of his second term, right? They quit. They did a lot of quitting.
You read the headline, Texas anti-ESG law declared unconstitutional by U.S. judge.
I mean, that's the biggest dopey no-brainer. I mean, come on.
Of course.
Here? I mean,
but that was the first thing that happened, the first domino that led to every Wall Street bank quitting all of them, dialed back all of their climate goals. They left all these climate groups. They basically abandoned the idea that climate change is real, because of an incoming administration's focus on discriminating against fossil fuels and climate change is a hoax. This ruling effectively says, if you guys had just fucking fought for 40 seconds, you would have won. And you were right.
Yeah, but they didn't. What makes you think they wanted to fight for that? How do you know that they care about the Net Zero Alliance?
Well, I don't know that they care about the Net Zero Alliance, but they should absolutely care how their money's getting allocated over the long term and whether or not all of it's at risk for climate change.
Maybe it was like woke washing, greenwashing in the first place. Maybe they don't.
Of course.
Well,
then
crap.
that's what triggers me about it, because this is what the judge said. This is U.S. District Judge Alan Albright said in his ruling. The law violated the First Amendment's free speech protections because it punished businesses for speaking about fossil fuels and associating with organizations that oppose fossil fuels. The First Amendment. You didn't have to read all the amendments, guys.
No,
you could have just stopped at the first one.
That's why we were really in on that. That was the first really big political theater of the anti-ESG, anti-woke movement. And that's why we couldn't stop with that one. It was the dumbest.
It was so dumb. It continues to be
juvenile.
It's literally like when you read the Constitution and the amendments, it's the first. You
Yeah.
don't have to read the whole thing.
Plus,
It's right there.
it's so like dumbly anti-capitalist to suggest that people can't invest or divest where they need to.
And instead, what BlackRock did was actually, right after this happened, Larry Fink sponsored a conference in Texas about oil and gas and talked about how BlackRock is the largest investor in oil and gas. They love oil and gas. They're never leaving oil and gas. And oil and gas is the
Good for
greatest.
them. Yeah.
And they spent probably as much money as you would have spent on lawyers, they spent on marketing to the fuckfaces in Texas who are deemed unconstitutional to convince them how oily and gassy you are.
All right.
I hate
That's
that.
number 2.
All right, that's number 2. Number 3.
I think you're more triggered by that one.
Yeah.
But this is up to me. It's up to me what I'm
it's up
triggered
to
by.
you.
Go ahead.
Number 3, stewardship whining.
Stewardship whining. What is that?
Okay, so the UK Investment Association, there is a group of investors. They have a
Sure.
stewardship working group. It includes a couple of names you've heard of and names you haven't. Aegon, BlackRock, obviously, Fidelity,
Yeah, don't tell me
M&G,
what I've heard of and what I haven't
Schroders,
heard of.
Artemis, CCLA, Legal and General, Royal London Asset Management. They put
Yeah.
out a paper
Ooh, cool.
called Realigning Stewardship, Delivering Sustainable Value Through Stewardship.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of time talking about what stewardship is in this paper and wanted to make sure we knew what it wasn't also.
Okay.
I don't know who the paper's for. These are asset managers. I think they're talking to asset owners, and they're basically complaining because
It's for the it's for that blue collar guy going to the bathroom. Like maybe it's a New York City cop.
Reading
He's taking the
something-
paper, taking the
reading
paper to the
something
bathroom.
on the toilet. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I pretty much I think these are the nuggets that triggered me in it. This is some of the stuff that this group of investors really wants you to know about stewardship specifically. Ready? The first one is about how stuff happening in the future it's often too far away for us to care about right now. Quote, the need for realism over what stewardship can achieve. There are potential time horizon trade-offs between achieving real-world outcomes on sustainability themes such as climate change and delivering financial returns to clients. These trade-offs need to be actively considered. Additionally, there are concerns that targeted sustainability goals may not always be realistic, and that government and other stakeholders may have developed unrealistic expectations of stewardship's capacity to deliver systemic change.
Oh.
Basically, they're saying,
Let us give up.
what? Come on, man. Stop asking us to do
hard.
so many hard things.
Yeah.
We don't want to do the hard things. The translation here is if we actually invested for climate change, if we actually invested knowing that climate change is coming, we probably would have to sell like our AI positions because they use so much energy and are destroying the environment, and probably have to sell some oil and gas positions. And those positions make us a lot of money like right now. So I'd rather help those companies and not ask them for unrealistic things because I mean, what are we doing? What are you talking about? Your job as a stewardship team is to fundamentally change the system
Do
so
hard
that
things.
it works.
Do you think that I actually have evidence? The first draft of this paper, there was a section that they have eliminated, but that they were arguing that they were saying that they wished it was 1952 again, so they could just sleep with their secretary and go home and not worry about anything. Like, why do we have to worry about anything? This is dopey.
I don't know. That was the first.
Why do we have
the
to be
second-
good citizens? We just want to make money.
Just let us.
Why do
make
we
money.
have to be
Come
good
on, can we
citizens?
just invest,
It's
like-
annoying. It is annoying and stressful to care about the world around us.
It's annoying to think about time.
As
I
my
don't wanna
driver drives me
think about
home, I'm
time.
just I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed.
This is his nugget number 2. There's only 3 I have, and they get
Go ahead.
shorter. Despite historically,
I'm not
these
voting for this one, by
stewardship
the way.
teams-
This
let's
is
be
just
clear.
fun. This one, yeah.
These stewardship teams have voted 96% in favor that everything management puts in front of them. Okay, that's the average vote.
And the
This is
jobs
what
are
they
getting
said.
easier too because there are going to be a lot less shareholder proposals to vote on.
This is what they said, quote, there is an undue focus on voting as a barometer of good stewardship, which does not reflect the role of all stewardship mechanisms.
Yeah, what
What
does that mean?
what they're complaining about is that they don't get credit for all the talking they do to the companies,
Oh.
not
Well,
the
they
voting.
do get credit. They get a paycheck.
They're basically saying just because we vote against some shareholder proposal or for a director doesn't mean we agree with them. It just means that we're
Oh.
talking to them.
Well, I did tell you that just because I voted for Trump last time, I actually I supported
I
Kamala.
I supported Kamala. I
Yeah,
agreed with Kamala,
but I voted for. You just can't blame me for
you
Trump.
can't. It's not my fault. I
It's
voted
not
for
my
Trump.
fault. No.
Basically, what they want is and this is a group that votes 96% with management. Where in your conversations does accountability come in if you never vote against management except when they fail to show up for 75% of attendance?
Yeah, I don't know why they don't know that at a minimum it would be like it would strengthen their negotiations. Like it would strengthen their bargaining power if they put a little fear into somebody by voting against something once in a while. Like
What the hell are we talking
the
about?
companies must not fear them at all. I mean, right?
Like the lever you have is not showing up and talking to Jimmy in a nice room having a cup of coffee. The lever you have, like in any election, is they're supposed to beg you for your vote. It's not the other way around. You don't default to saying, well, we're voting with them all the time, but that doesn't mean we're not doing a lot of work. We're having a lot of conversations. What the fuck are you talking about? None of them lose their goddamn jobs. Not one director on earth has been voted out for underperforming on climate change. Zero.
How's that
All of your
possible? How is
conversations
that
have
possible?
resulted in 0 votes out.
Considering
What
like
is
they're
going
all,
on?
and considering the corporate world begs to return to some merit-based like world where everything is based on objective data and criteria, how is it possible that a director has never been voted out on climate?
I went to a conference
How?
in London, which last time I checked is on the European continent, right? Even though it's not part of the Euro area.
It's not
But this is
part
the
of Europe.
UK Investment Association. I was in London, and directors there or investors there were complaining that they didn't even have access to some directors, that some companies would shun them and not allow them to talk to directors. But they still vote for them? Because you want us to give credit for your attempt to try to talk to them? That triggered me. And last,
Yeah.
the classic, we are poor. Quote, there are different costs associated with the process of stewardship for both investors and companies who have finite resources.
Oh, so it's too expensive to worry about stuff? Is that it?
They have plenty of money to give their CEO above inflation raises every single year. They can't spend $7 on a phone bill. Like how hard is it to press vote against? Like the analysis that we give, the Free Flow Analytics has free data on their website. The cost of free, the last time I checked, was 0.
Yeah,
You
but
could use fucking
we actually
free
believe
data.
in something, which is probably why our paychecks don't exist.
So I just wish they would stop whining. Those are your
All
three.
right, well, that was
Whining
a key
around
one.
stewardship. The Wall Street quit after over a law that was unconstitutional, and Nike, but really the EEOC and the merit-based system.
I mean, do I really even have to vote on this one?
So that's why I said I thought it was a pretty easy
You
one.
just padded. I mean, you're talking about headlines like this: Nike accused of bias against white workers. I mean, what? I don't even know what we're talking about here. I mean, this is just the dumbest.
All right, that's the winner.
And you're right. And you're right to. And I think we're both right. You brought up Colin Kaepernick. I brought up Nike's role in our culture in America. There's a reason why it's Nike, clearly, because it's just you think of black people. I'm sorry, but this is red meat for the MAGA crowd. I mean, right? And you think of Nike, the first thing you think of is Michael Jordan or whoever. You think of a black
Jordan.
athlete. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. You think
Yeah.
of a black athlete.
think of
So there
Jordan.
you go.
All right,
Congratulations, Trump administration, for your soulless, racist existence. There you go.
Good job. Let's do headlines, winners, predictions, and we can rip through these. All right. You have 2 headlines. I have 2 headlines and a picture.
I'll go first because I don't understand how are you gonna do a picture on a dopey
I'm just
radio
gonna
show or
vaguely describe
podcast
it.
or whatever we are. All right.
It's a live stream that we don't
Well,
share screen.
I have 2 that will help make you feel better about the world. First of all, the first one is we should mark this date because I guess this is an important. If you're an archivist or if you're a historian, this is an important date because
I am. Yeah.
this would suggest that the meritocracy is officially a lie. The world's most important CEO and business person. Here's the headline: Elon Musk's hiring advice. Quote: Don't look at the resume, just believe your interaction. So, can we just say right now that the meritocracy is officially dead? So
The meritocracy
this
is alive.
lawsuit
It's your
against
gut instinct.
the lawsuit against Nike can be thrown out immediately because there is no meritocracy. There's no way to define it. It just doesn't matter. Forget the resume, forget college, forget it all. Just
It's your gut.
if you're more comfortable with the white guy, just go with that. 'Cause
You
he's
got to
probably
go out
someone you
there
can
and
golf
trust
with.
your gut.
He's probably someone you can go to Epstein Island with. He's probably someone that you can harass someone with. So there you go. All right. My second one is along the same lines. It's official that we were right about everything because listen to this headline. Disney's Bob Iger achieves an essential feat for outgoing CEOs, giving his successor a clean slate. So they're saying what we're saying about former CEOs, which is get lost.
Yeah.
So we're right. So I don't know why they're talking about this only with Bob Iger.
Wait,
They should be
but
talking about
only
this every
time with Bob Iger.
every
'Cause
corporation. In fact, if you listen to the proxy countdown this week, I have a slew of 8Ks that are doing just the opposite. They're consolidating CEO power. The former CEOs are becoming chairs. So Fortune, thank you for pointing this out, but I want you to now attack every corporation that doesn't set its former CEO free because yeah, you're right. This is how you should be doing it. Clean slate.
Wait, this headline should read though. Disney
Free
CEO
float is right.
Bob Iger achieves what Disney executive chair Bob Iger never could.
Well, you're wrong
Giving-
about that. You're wrong about that because during the Bob Chapek thing, he actually did leave the board. He just stayed in contact with everybody. He stayed in contact
was
with the board that he
chair
created.
for a year first.
But then he did leave, remember?
But then he left. Yeah,
and
then
he
left.
still managed his way back. So
and
I
he
don't
just
know.
walked back in like 6 months after that.
I don't know. But luckily, Josh Tomorrow looks like Bob Iger, so it's all fine. All right, what are your headline is?
All right, I'm just going to read these two headlines quick. Number one, Hillary Clinton wants testimony on Jeffrey Epstein in public. Let's stop the games.
Hey, this is
Isn't that
look,
fucking brilliant?
Say what you will about the Clintons. They're not my favorite Democratic politicians, but they are brilliantly playing this, which is that they are showing up to testify to Congress because they're setting a precedent, right? They're demanding that it be held in public, and they're clearly setting the stage for Trump, right,
No,
to
because-
testify one day.
Look, the Clintons, like,
Bill Clinton all over those.
Bill Clinton doesn't have to worry about legacy at this point. He's like going
Well,
to die
his
in
legacy
the next
is
5
tarnished.
years. Like
It's already been
everything's
bruised
already
and battered
happened.
as it should be.
He could literally get up there and just name names of people that weren't in the files that because they were redacted, and he could just say Donald Trump was there. I saw him. I've talked to him.
But again, for
Like-
future Congresses, they can now call Trump and hold him in contempt for not publicly testifying. And by the way, can I just say that this is the sad state of the world we're in, by the way? That notice how it's Hillary Clinton making a statement. I haven't even heard Bill Gates make a statement. The only statement I heard is someone asked his ex-wife,
yeah, well, 'cause
Melinda
that's-
Gates, to comment about Bill Gates. So
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
where we're at. We're still having women apologizing for the bad behavior of men. But anyway,
Number two,
yeah.
I just love this headline. My neighborhood is pushing back against sidewalk delivery robots. The fight's coming to your town next.
How are they pushing back with like baseball bats? What are they doing? Are you
I-
allowed? I want to know this. I want to know this honestly. I'm responsible for shoveling my sidewalk. So if there's a stupid robot going down my sidewalk, am I allowed to hit it with a baseball bat? Is it my property? What's going
No,
on?
but
there?
I think they like put things in front of it and they generally like annoy it. Like they like put lines out, like they put blocking in front of it. They stand in
Well,
if
it's
you
not-
stand in a row and it can't get by, like
The whole thing is look for anyone who lives in New England. The whole thing's going to be a joke anyway because all the sidewalks they're either like covered with snow or they have like tree roots or they're I mean, how are you going to get around anyway? You can't get around on sidewalks up here. But
I just love it.
I like it. What else you got?
And
You have a
then the last
picture?
thing I have is a picture, and I picked this because Cracker Barrel back in the news because there was you reported on this, but there was a report that Cracker Barrel, when their employees are traveling, are mandated to eat at Cracker Barrel when they're traveling, right? Like
Punishment, yeah.
Julie Massino, Fells Massino, I can't remember her hyphenated name. She was actually on The Blaze with Glenn Beck.
Oh.
And was like
Bending
asked
the
questions
knee
about this.
To The Blaze, yeah.
But as part of a part of the story of her like quotes from The Blaze, they took a picture from inside a Cracker Barrel at the end of 2025. As this is Cracker Barrel getting its mojo back. It's like had a big fallout. It's like it's getting its mojo back. This is the picture that they used as part of this article. It is. I am not kidding. It's got to be a dozen people. And there is not one person under 80 years old in the picture.
Well, it's Cracker Barrel.
Except for the server. I just thought it was hysterical that
I gotta tell you,
still ripping on Cracker Barrel. There's no one there, and they're all 80.
Am I mistaken? But is it like all old white people and there's a black waiter? Is that what's happening in that picture?
Waiter. Yeah, one black waiter. Is it?
I guess that is the heritage of the South, right? That's what the heritage you're talking about.
Classic. Yeah.
That place looks terrible. It not only does it look uncomfortable, but the floor. I hate those kind of. It's like the floors you find in a bathroom. Like it's like this hard tile. The whole thing looks very uncomfortable. It looks dusty.
I think it is dusty.
I don't know.
All right, why? Who's your winner of the week?
Anyway, let's get off Cracker Barrel. Thank God I don't have a Cracker Barrel near me. My winner, unfortunately, is all the Epstein all the bros who showed up in the Epstein files, and I'll just say, see your winner.
Yeah, my winner is kind of the same. My winner is white men again.
Yeah, right, sure.
Winning again. Look, I'm already I started drafting using AI a lawsuit against a girl in high school who wouldn't make out with me because she discriminated against white men with ugly glasses and long noses at the time. It's like everything's racism now. Like if I don't get what I want, it's racism because I'm a white man. It couldn't possibly be that I shouldn't get what I want. So we're winning, baby. We're winning. You got a prediction?
My prediction's dumb, boring, but I'm just thinking the best we can hope for out of all this are just shareholder derivative lawsuits.
Ooh.
Right? That's it. Like I don't think we're gonna get any accountability, and I'm thinking like shareholder derivative lawsuits against boards who failed to oversee the reputational risk of their Epstein tech bro directors and CEO. I'm just saying like this is all we can really hope for, right? It's lawsuits.
Maybe I'll ask Ann about that.
I'm thinking some will come, right? I mean, there has to be reputational risk to keeping these people on your boards. I mean, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't understand my country I live in. I don't understand. There's a CBS News is not firing one of their correspondents for. It's like
I mean, in the meritocracy, Barry Weiss got the job, and she's never done anything before.
We're talking about girls, underage girls.
Yeah.
They're not even women. I just don't understand how did we get here? How did we get here?
I don't want to think about it anymore. All right, when I saw this, here's my prediction. When I saw this headline, Elon Musk says it's hard to convince engineers with families to move to SpaceX Technology Monastery in Texas. He's having a hard time getting engineers. It becomes clear, the prediction is this: Elon Musk will be forced to reincorporate SpaceX in a really nice suburb somewhere near or around San Francisco. Because he's got to rehire the talent who might have families
and want to live somewhere nice.
And they want to live somewhere nice with good schools.
Can I just tell you that I've been seeing reports this week that there are people who are visiting San Francisco because of the Super Bowl, and they're all surprised how nice it is.
How nice it is.
I was what reality are you living in?
After he moves back to San Francisco, a single white man who moved to Texas to join SpaceX will sue the company for discrimination against single white men who moved to Texas, forcing Musk to reincorporate in Texas.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
It's amazing. It's going to happen. That's all we got. Says Rollins, I'm your analyst, Paul Mascardi. We are Free Float. That's our Friday show. We're doing back-to-back today. Proxy Countdown's going to come out today, too. We've got some stuff on there, a bunch of updates. Also, We just got invited to do a show at CII, the Council for Institutional Investors.
Do I have to? I have to.
It's the two of us. So if you're going to that conference, reach out, because we're going to do a Proxy Countdown show in front of everybody, and we're going to bring the data. We're going to talk about boards and data and voting and all this stuff. Until later. Good.